right here, since we're going to go over one of the 4 days that are in your program right now, this is going to be your regeneration day. So typically this is going to follow a day off, or it's going to precede a game. So you'll have a game, regeneration, and then a game on the next day. So it's going to kind of help bridge the gap, or just slowly bring you back up to help you recover and then get ready for games when you have a little bit more of a block of practices in front of that game. So basically what you're going to do is get done with practice and then hop on a bike. It's going to be a nice, easy 10-minute ride, 10 to 15-minute ride. We're just trying to get some blood flow to the area, and then we're also just trying to get some oxygen into your tissues. So if you use a bike, a stationary bike's fine. Airdyne is kind of preference, but I know you'll be doing this out on the course, so just whatever's available and easy to use is fine. As soon as you're done with that, you're going to hop straight off. You have a 5-exercise general strength circuit. You're going to go through this 2 to 3 rounds. 2 is preferential. You can do 3 if you have time and you feel like doing it. Basically, the way that the circuit will work is everything's going to be 30 seconds of work, followed by either a 30-second or 15-second rest period. So for all your exercises like a sled push or the sled squats a row, where you don't have to do it facing or traveling both directions or do one side versus the other, you're just going to do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Exercises like the half-kneeling windmill bend press or your crossover dragging will be a 30-second work period followed by a 15-second rest. So it'll either be a minute per station or about 90 seconds per station, depending on which one that you're working at. So the first is just going to be a normal sled push. Just to keep in mind with all the sled drills, you want to have enough weight on there to where you feel some resistance, but there shouldn't be a ton of tension that's involved with this. It needs to be moderate to lightweight. And as you're going through the sled circuit and you're going through all the drills that are in this general strength circuit, I want you to think about being very deliberate with the motions that you're going through, kind of slowing things down a little bit, being very conscious of what's happening with your body and what you're kind of feeling as you go through this. So first one's going to be just a normal sled push. The only thing I want you to think about that might be different than how it's typically pushed is as you're going and stepping through, I want you to think about kind of having a dribble ground contact. So think about rolling from your heel to your toe. So we're not just going through this on the ball of your foot the entire time. You go 30 seconds, rest for 30 seconds. Then you're going to grab TRX straps, whatever type of strap that you have. You're going to pull your head back through your heels, exhale down, stand up and row. Take a step back so you regain tension on the straps. 30 seconds on, 30-second rest. Then you grab a pad. You're going to drop down into that half-kneeling bent press. So again, half-kneeling position, hand goes down to the ground. Pull your head back, and then you're trying to turn your head so that you're looking at the weight the whole time. So head back, and then we're turning and looking. What will help is as you're going through the bent press, once again, we're not trying to have your elbow flip out to the side. You're trying to keep your elbow tucked in towards your side or towards the front of your body so that it's underneath your hand. You're going to be looking at the weight, and then you're just nice, easy pressing as you go through this. You can also think about trying to keep your shoulder down while you're doing this. You shouldn't feel anything in your neck, anything catching or pinching your shoulder. It should just be muscles in your shoulder blade, maybe the back of the shoulder a little bit. Then you should also feel a pretty good stretch from being in that half-kneeling position. Exercises 4 and 5. 4 is going to be the last sled drill. It's going to be a crossover drag like we've done in the past, but it's going to be a slight variation on it. So instead of lining up just directly in line with the sled and stepping across, I'm going to have you either hold on to a TRX strap, or if you've got a belt that you can throw on and hook to, either one is totally fine. You can take a couple steps forward, so that now you have an angle from your attachment to the sled. It should be about a 45-degree angle sled drag. And you're going to go through a crossover at that 45-degree angle. So maybe you take a couple of steps out, someone scoots the sled back in the direction so you get a nice angle in line. And as you go through this, all I want you to think about doing is keeping your head back and staying kind of tall. As you step across your body, you're trying to press the pad of your foot that's right underneath your big toe and basically the area that forms your arch down into the ground. Okay, so we're not pushing with our toe really hard. We're just trying to find the ground with the area that's behind your big toe and your arch. Then you're going to step through, step back across, find that area each time you go through that step. So that means you need to step and kind of pause for a second to get a feel for it. It's totally fine. You don't have to blow through these. It's better to kind of be slow and deliberate as you go through it. So you'll do 40 or 30 seconds at a 45-degree angle crossing over. You'll face the same direction. The easiest thing probably be to unhook it have someone push the sled back around the other way, or you can push it back around, hook yourself back up, and then cross over again. If it's hard to maintain the 15 seconds rest while that happens, don't stress about it. Just have someone move it, and whenever it gets set up, you can just go ahead and go. And then we'll do 30 seconds going back the other direction. The very last one is going to be just a calf raise ISO. So if you have something you can elevate your toes on, that's my preference, but because you're just doing the ISO where you're holding up at the very, very top, you don't necessarily have to do it on an elevated surface. You can grab onto something for balance. Just think about pressing through your whole foot and your big toes, so you don't want to come up and roll here onto the outside part of your foot, and you're going to hold that position for 30 seconds, rest for 15, then switch sides. If at any point with any of these drills, the 30-second time period is starting to cause you to feel like you're exhausted or can't continue on, just go ahead and stop. There's no reps or distances prescribed, it's all based off time. But if we're going through it nice and slow and deliberate, it shouldn't wear you out. And with something like the bench press, you should be getting somewhere between 10 to 15 reps, probably somewhere in the 15 rep range. The loads are going to be a little bit lighter, it's going to be a little bit more volume involved, but you should feel refreshed and feel good afterwards. It shouldn't feel like, you know, some of the intervals that you're doing on the bike earlier on before we got back into practices and games. So give that a shot. This is an example of a Regen session that we'll go through. If you have any questions, just let me know and we'll go from there.